All right, ladies and gentlemen. So you guys probably saw this going around. The entire conversation regarding Vivian. Now, Vivian from Paper Mario. Interesting conversation because I think this is more of a, how do I want to put it? It's more of a cultural thing. I would say it's more, I don't want to say it's a cultural misunderstanding because I think these woke ass localizers know exactly what's going on in the Japanese culture. They're just choosing to represent it in a completely different manner, right? So this article came out from That Park Place, and many different websites are covering this thing. So it depends on who you look at. If you look at the gamer, right? Let me show you the gamer first because maybe that'll give you a little bit of a context over the big difference between a shill media website and someone actually trying to tell you the truth, right? So look at this really quick. Check this out. So we got an article from the gamer. It says Paper Mario: The 1,000-Year Door Review, the definitive way to play a classic. This is not the right one. Fuck. Shit. I got the wrong one. Hold on. It's about Vivian's transing. Here we go. Got it. Vivian is confirmed to be trans in Paper Mario Remake's English translation. It says after the original English localization removed references to Vivian being trans, the Paper Mario Remake adds it back in. Right? I'm a professional YouTuber. Don't judge me. So here's the thing. There is no actual reference to Vivian being trans in the original game. This is why I think it's a big time cultural issue. And this is why I have this picture here that I'm going to showcase to kind of help people understand the mind of a woke localizer. Shout out to our boy Grooms. He posted this over on the Twatters. Okay. Here's the thing. Trans is not synonymous with the following 5 terms: cross-dressing, otokonoko, new half, okama, and gender bender, right? Like they're not synonymous. They don't mean the same thing. What it is that woke localizers, what they end up doing is if they see any of the 5 terms from Japanese culture to represent essentially what is called a femboy, right? It's a boy that knows he's a boy, that represents himself as a boy, but happens to dress like a girl, right? Like a femboy. You know what I'm saying? Feminine boy, whatever, cross-dresser, whatever word you want to use. A lot of this stuff has terms in Japan, and they're terms for a reason because everything has definitions, right? Everything means something. When you take these terms and you give it to the hands of someone who is extremely disingenuous, what ends up happening is they translate it to trans. That's what they do. They take a orokonoko and they turn it into a transgender character. This is why words have meaning, right? Like definitions mean something. But unfortunately, again, when you give it to a woke localizer, those definitions go out the window. They mean absolutely fuck all. They don't care about that. All that matters is that they can now say that this character is a transgender character. So that is what they're doing with Vivian. Vivian was a orokonoko character. It was a femboy character. Okay? Now, let's go back really quick. Really quick. Let me pull this up here, the gamer. I want you guys to remember that picture as we're going over this conversation, okay? Let's read here. Vivian is transgender in the English localization of Paper Mario: The 1,000-Year Doors remake. This comes after the original Japanese release suggested she was trans in 2004. Never happened. Never happened. Full stop. Never happened. Vivian was never referenced to be trans in the original Japanese version. Okay, and we'll discuss it coming up in a following tweet, but just follow along with me. Fans are overjoyed, especially since she's very clearly presented as trans this time. Whatever the fuck that means, okay? I don't know how this kind of character is clearly presented as trans. The only thing that's trans about it is the fucking color. Like the color of the hat. It's the trans colors. How are you going to look at this character? Yeah, I'm sure fans are overjoyed. I'm sure. Paper Mario, let me see. Hold on. So look at this tweet, this chill ass tweet. Oh my goodness gracious. This is not an edit. We won. We won so hard. Can you imagine looking for diversity, equity, and inclusion in Paper Mario of all things? Imagine being excited about Paper fucking Mario. Like you could go around town to people and be like, yeah, we were represented in Paper Mario. Yeah, that sounds really exciting. Really, really exciting. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now it says, in fact, here we go. I like how they start that off, in fact, when it's obviously not fact. This translation arguably makes it even clearer than before, as she confirms that it took her time to realize she's a woman. In the original Japanese release, Vivian was often referred to as a woman, but was also misgendered by some characters. This shit is completely unfactual. This entire article is unfactual. As per the Mario Wiki, the Italian localization said that she used to be a man, but now she's a woman and proud of it. Yeah, because the Italians are woke as shit too. You can't use a localization to bolster the argument for your localization. You can't do that. Like that's not how this works. Like you got to go to the actual real Japanese text. And what is the real translation? Not the fucking translation through translation philosophy or whatever the hell they want to say. You know what I'm saying? Now let's read further. Hold on, it gets better. It became clear that the previews that the remake wouldn't take this approach, but fans are still pleasantly surprised with the results. It leaves no room for people to deny her gender identity too, which is a nice bonus. Some players are trying to, but they're not finding much success, and they're getting clowned a lot. Well, I highly doubt we're getting clowned a lot. Number one. Number two, we actually are finding much success because it can be easily proven that this is not the case. All this is you are just trying to shill hard for some form of DEI. Paper Mario 1,000 Year Doors remake has been met with positive reviews, blah, 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 blah. There was another, okay, so we went over the Italian translation. Now let's get a little factual. Let's play around a little bit. So if we go down here, Jonas Campo, an investigative reporter for That Park Place, shared a screenshot for the upcoming game that features dialogue from Vivian saying, "Truth is, it took me a while to realize I was their sister, not their brother. Now their usual bullying feels heavier." Okay, we already went over that. However, as noted by YouTuber Short Fat Otaku during an appearance on Side Scrollers, the original Japanese version of the game describes the character as a orokonoko or femboy, basically a male who dresses up in women's clothes. Short Fat Otaku explains while reading a post from Majikin 1987 in the original party info and in the original game and Goombella's title log, it says that Vivian is an orokonoko, an effeminate male, otherwise known as a male daughter or femboy or a trap. Not trans. That's a delusional headcanon. His catch card uses the same word, again, not trans. So the character is just a femboy at the end of the day. The character is a boy that knows it's a boy and purposefully dresses up as a female because it's a cross-dresser, or in this case, an orokonoko, which is a femboy. So they're completely erasing the boy aspect of its identity and completely trying to make it into a trans female. That's it. That's all they're trying to do.